Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Friday Night Fight Talk. I am your host, Jay, as per usual. And before we get into the picks, I have something to apologize for. Last week, I did not upload an episode, as you probably noticed. Two things happened that day. Before I was about to record the episode, I got called that I could fight in 7 hours, and I took it. I pulled some Danny Ige shit. So, and it was for a really good cause. If you know, you know. So that happened. And then the next day was the day of, the actual fights. And the card was complete dog shit. So honestly, going through all that effort just to have no one listen to it on time, I didn't really think it was worth it in my opinion. So that is my apology for not releasing an episode last week. That card was dog shit. I'm sorry. Anyways, UFC 305 is this weekend. There will be a King of Africa at the end of this. Let's see who rules Africa after this. You'll find out later in my picks. Without further ado, let's just get into it. So, kicking off the night on the early prelims, we've got Nickel versus Aguilar. Excuse me. Sorry, just pulling that up on the website. So, Nickel's making his debut, and he's looked really good in other promotions. But the difference with the UFC and the other promotions is that there is a big jump in competition. There's a huge jump in competition. Even if you go to Bellator, some fucking bum in the UFC, like Mike Perry. Look at Mike Perry. He goes to boxing, or bare knuckle boxing. He was shit in the UFC. And he's dominating. He is destroying. And I get that's a different sport, in boxing and MMA are two different things. But that's just an example. I know you could probably think of some others. Oh, Cosigny in the PFL. He got fucking spinning KO'd by Buckley, and now he's doing amazing in the PFL. He's won $1 million. He might do it again. Anyways, I'm getting off track. So Nickel is going into this undefeated with only one decision, okay? 5 of his finishes coming from the very first round. And Aguilar, he's for a guy named Jesus, I know it's Jesus, but I'm calling him Jesus because I think it's funnier. His only loss in the UFC so far is to Tyra. He's a Tyra victim. And Nickel is undefeated. So considering most of Nickel's wins coming via finish, I'm going to pick Nickel by round 3 KO against Aguilar. I think it's going to be like the Abu Dhabi Elvis Brenner fight. I think he was fighting Yoel Alvarez. Yoel was just fucking destroying him for 3 rounds. Every round he got chinned, and it was just oh my god, he's done. He's done. He's out. But he just found a way to keep going until the 3rd. I kind of feel like that's how it's going to go here. I feel like Nickel's going to do the same thing the whole time. Stuart Nickel, round 3 KO. Next up, welterweight, we have Song Kenan and Ricky Glenn. Now, I've got a thing against Ricky Glenn. I can never bet on this guy. Ever. Confidently, I can never pick on him. He's very on and off. It's a coin flip whether he wins or not. So, looking at Song's skill and then looking at Ricky Glenn's on and off skills, I'm going with Song here. Because as much as he's coming off a loss, it was a decision loss. He didn't look like complete dog shit. And he also had a really good fight against Bedoya. Ricky Glenn, I just can't fucking pick him confidently. Sorry, I sound super fucking aggressive against this guy. But I've really got an issue. And Ricky Glenn's over here getting chinned in round 1. I think both of his last 2 fights were round 1 KOs, if I'm not wrong. He got knocked out. Granted, I could be wrong, but I think his last fight was Drew Dober, if I'm not wrong. If I'm an idiot, I'm an idiot. I'm pretty sure he fought Drew Dober last. And then he had that draw with Grant Dawson a few years ago. Or, I don't know how long ago it was. He was off for a bit after that. Anyways, Ricky Glenn, get the fuck out of here. You're getting chinned. Not really. You're going to a decision. My bad. I just really don't fucking want this guy to win. Next up, ending the early prelims. If you've seen the betting odds for this, you already fucking know who I'm going to pick. I'm going with Tom Nolan by round 1 KO. So, Reyes, I think he only has 2 fights in the UFC, if I'm not wrong. And one of them was, I think, 7 years ago, almost. His debut, he got shinned in round 1 against Mike Perry. Okay? Then he came back last year and got shinned in round 1 again. So, without a doubt in my mind, it's not even that Tom Nolan's that fucking good. It's that Reyes is so dog. Like, he's terrible. And, listen, Nolan, like, he's not the best, but he's not dog shit. Like, he's gonna destroy him. Anyways, Tom Nolan, round 1 KO. I think Reyes' curse is gonna continue here. Next up, there was a Canadian gonna be in this fight. So, I'm gonna have a hot take here. I know a lot of people are picking Jenkins by, like, fucking KO in this fight. I'm picking Burns by submission. Sorry, I didn't even say the fight. Jack Jenkins and Herbert Burns, I'm picking Burns by decision. Honestly, like, his grappling, it's pretty good for featherweight. Especially against, I don't think we've seen much out of Jenkins' grappling. That might just be my lack of knowledge against him. But Jenkins is riding a really good win streak right now, but I honestly think Burns is going to find the submission. I know this is like a hot fucking dumbass take, but I think he's going to get it done. My only evidence here that he wins this is trust in the force. Because honestly, I could 100% see Jenkins KOing him in like fucking round 2. Honestly, if I wasn't being an idiot here, that'd be my pick. But I'm telling you, I think Burns is going to find the submission. So I'm going Burns by round 2 submission. Or sorry, I know I just said Jack Jenkins is coming off a win streak. He lost his last fight, I think. Just ignore that. Next up, the piss break. Actually, now that I think about it, is this the only women's fight on the card? Oh, it is. Holy shit. All right, we got Casey O'Neill versus Luana Santos. Now, I'm not a big Casey O'Neill fan here. I especially think she's boring, like most women's MMA. But I'm going with Santos by decision. She's been a little rough lately. Now, granted, I said the same thing about what's-her-face on the Abu Dhabi card. I was like, she's going to get cut after this. And she fucking beat the undefeated prospect from the Contender Series. But I think Santos should be able to outclass her in just about every way. Like, I think this is going to be like a full 30-27. Like, Santos is going to sweep the floor with her. Granted, this is women's MMA. I'm probably going to take my piss break during this fight. Or maybe get some snacks, something like that. But Santos is on like a really good win streak. So, and going off of O'Neill's losing streak, and also Santos' skill, and O'Neill's skill, like, I'm literally looking at every aspect of this. I swear to God, I've never looked into a women's MMA fight this much. I'm going with Luana Santos. Next up, Josh Culibao versus Ricardo Ramos. This is going to be a close fight. I'm calling it now. This is a close fight. Both of these guys, they're not like finishing people left and right, but they still have some on their belt. So, both of them are very similar skill-wise. Like, I think Ramos is, if I'm not wrong, I think he's a little heavier on the grappling side. While I think Culibao, he's still, like, you know, well-rounded. So they're both very well-rounded, I think. And I think this is going to be a really close fight, but I'm going to go with Josh Culibao by decision here. I think that Culibao is going to get the edge. It'll be like 29-28. Like, it'll come down to the last round. But I think it'll be really close. Like, we could see a robbery here. Culibao, he's looked better in his last few than Ramos, in my opinion. Like, he's fought better competition. Like, I think a couple fights ago he fought Lerone Murphy, I think, who's still undefeated and ranked now. So that's aging even better for him. But, like, we could see a robbery here. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Culibao got robbed or Ramos got robbed. But we'll just have to wait and see on Saturday. So, anyways, I'm going with Josh Culibao by decision. Next up, prelim headliner, Junior Tafa. I don't even know if it's Junior. The Tafa brother that isn't covered in tattoos versus Walter Walker. Now, the notorious brother of Johnny Walker, who's being Does anyone remember when this guy was being hyped up as an undefeated prospect? Like, they're like, Walter Walker, Johnny Walker's brother, has been signed with the UFC as an undefeated heavyweight prospect. He got fucking fraud checked by Fuck, how do I say his name again? He fought recently. Brzezinski? Fuck it, that's how I say it. Tafa stepped in on, I think it was 1 day notice against De Lima when his brother was supposed to fight. And he got KO'd, but that's what you get on a 1 day notice fight. So, going by the skill levels here, I'm going with Junior Tafa by decision. I don't think it'll be a finish, especially since we haven't seen Walter get finished. But we haven't seen much of Walter to begin with. All we've seen is a 3-rounder in the Apex. Give this man a full stadium and Junior Tafa. I don't know what I was going with off the end there. And we could see something unexpected from Walter. I just don't think it's going to be today. I want Walker to succeed, not this fight. I do like Tafa a lot. But this isn't his night. It's not his night. It's not going to be. We could see something unexpected, but I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. Sorry, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent. Not expecting anything from Walker, but something could happen. Okay. Moving on to the main card. Oh, fuck. This is going to hurt to talk about. Oh, fuck. Yeah, okay. We got Li Jingliang coming off a long layoff versus Carlos Prates. Or whatever, Prates. Now listen, man. I am top 5 Leech fan of all time. He's getting KO'd. I'm picking Carlos Prates by round 3 KO. Fuck. I hate to say it. Listen. The Prates is a fighting nerd. They are on fucking fire. They are, so good lately. They've been pulling upset after upset after upset. And Leech has been off for, has it been 2 years? And he's been injured as well. I really think the ring rust is going to get to him on this one. I hate to say. Because I can't tell if he's improved or not. I haven't seen him fight at all. I haven't seen him train. I can't tell if he's improved at all. And the way I see it, Prates is an up-and-comer who's done really well in the UFC, and he's KOing people left, right, and center. So, as much as Leech doesn't get finished much, I really hate to say I think he's going to sleep in the 3rd round. I'm sorry, Leech. I'm still cheering for him. You bet your ass I'm cheering for him. Carlos Prates by round 3 KO, that hurts to say. All right. Next, oh, fuck, this one hurts too. Shit. All right. We got Tai Tuivasa versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. So as you know, Tuivasa's on a 4-fight losing streak. And he's over here getting highlight reel subbed by Marcin Tybura. I think Tai Tuivasa's time in the rankings is done for. I'm picking Rozenstruik by decision. Listen, he's going on a massive losing streak. He hasn't looked like he's been improving at all. That Tybura fight was terrible for him. He looked so bad. And he's getting subbed, highlight reel subbed. And I think he's either going down to the number 15 spot or he's going to non-ranked after this. I don't think he's getting finished, but if he does, because I definitely could see it, Derek Lewis over here definitely could. It's going to look worse for him. And believe me, I'm cheering for him. Like, I want Ty to win so bad. I mean, I don't think he's going to pull it off. But I'm telling you, it is really, really close to him getting cut. Like, he won't get cut after this. The only time the UFC ever cuts people is when they try to fuck over their contract, or if you're Mighty Mouse. I'm sorry. Or Makayev. But Tuivasa, he probably only needs one more loss to get cut. Like Reyes at light heavyweight, if he didn't beat Jacoby, I think he would have gotten cut. I think this is going to be like, he's going to go down to number 15, maybe even go unranked, and one more loss and he's going to get cut. I hate to say. He's a fan favorite. He's done so much for the sport. He's challenged for the interim title. To think that we were that close to John Jones versus Tai Tuivasa at one point. Like, that's fucking nuts. But I don't think he's doing it. I think he's just going to lose a decision. I'm sorry. Rosenstrike by not KO, decision. Okay. Now to the less sad ones. Still not great. Mateus Gamrot versus Dan Hooker. Listen. I think Gamrot gets overhated. He's not the worst. Listen, I get that sometimes his fights are more boring than watching paint dry. But he's really good. He's really good. And I think he's going to get Dan Hooker by decision here. The thing is, Dan stands a chance on the feet. If Dan somehow manages to keep the fight standing, he actually stands a chance. Problem is, Gamrot isn't like he's not like one of those people that can only grapple. He can strike too. He's an MMA fighter for a reason. That's why he's at the top of the division. But I think Gamrot's probably going to try and grapple and initiate the clinch here more, which, believe me, this could also be your piss break if you want. But Dan's been off for a while, so I'm going to sit this one through. I hope this fight turns out really good. It all depends on how Gamrot takes this, because he's mainly going to be in control for the whole time here. But we haven't really seen Dan grapple much. And Dan is like the notorious fucking get a title shot off of me person. Was it Islam? Or did Islam get a title shot off Bobby Green? I think it might have been Bobby Green. Anyways. And then Michael Chandler got a title shot off Dan Hooker. I'm going to say that after Gamrot beats Hooker, he deserves a title shot. I know, I just said that. I'm sorry. I get that you want him to fight Oliveira. I do too. But I think he deserves at least an interim title shot, because I've heard Islam's going to be out for a while. Put him and Arman together for an interim title shot, and if he loses, let him work his way back up. That's it. That's simple. I think he deserves it. He's overhated, and he really deserves this if he wins this. However, if he loses, get him the fuck out of here. Oh my God. And get Dan a title shot. He's going up to number 5 like he used to be. Anyways, sorry. Gamrot by decision. Co-main. Also, if I start the discussion for this, could someone tell me if this is 5 rounds or not? Because I just fucking heard somewhere that it's 5 rounds. And the fact that it's on the poster doesn't help. Anyways, Kai Kara France versus Steve Erceg. Kai Kara France has been off for a while. Steve Erceg has had 4 fights in between the last time Kai Kara France fought. And he debuted. He got a title shot in between then. And had Pantoja's closest fight. Literally, if he didn't shoot that takedown on Pantoja, he'd be champion. I shit you not. But I am going with Erceg by decision. His boxing is really good, but they're both super well-rounded. The thing is, the ring rust is probably going to get to Kai. Also, not to mention, I think Steve Erceg is well-rounded in general as well. I think he's more well-rounded in the first place. So, like, Steve's got the jiu-jitsu and especially the boxing. No matter where this fight is, I think Steve is going to be in control. And I'm talking like a 30-27 or a 50-45, depending on if it's 5 rounds. Potentially like 49-46, 29-28. Like, honestly, he's going to dominate most of the fight, in my opinion. Hate to say. Or don't hate to say. Sorry. Hate to say Kai's losing. Because, honestly, Kai isn't, like, the least likable. He's been super fucking inactive. Love Steve Erceg. Love Michael Scott from The Office. That guy's fucking great. Love that guy. So, yeah. Steve Erceg by decision. And now, the main event, Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. So, this is a coin flip to me. I'm not going to lie. I really can't tell who I'm going to pick here. So, here's my fucking thing. Here's the fucking thing, you guys. Sorry for my Strickland impression. That's who they're fighting next, by the way. God, that's terrible. I can't believe they're fighting him next. Izzy, as a contender, is a different fucking beast. There is, like, he's undefeated as a contender at middleweight. I would say he's undefeated as a contender, but he did technically fight Jan Blachowicz for light heavyweight. I am going with Izzy by KO in the third. This is a really close fight for me because every time I want to pick against Dricus, he fucking wins. So I've just taken to betting on Dricus, and he's won every time. I bet on him in the Strickland fight, and he supposedly beat Strickland. I think he was robbed, but it is what it is. So I'm going to hope my Dricus curse breaks here. And Izzy's going to KO him in the third. Now, if Izzy was the one defending the title, maybe it'd be a different situation. But Izzy's a contender now, and it's different. He could easily KO him here. Granted, Dricus probably hits harder with his goofy goober style. But here's the thing. If the fight goes to the ground, I can definitely see Dricus getting a decision. There's, like, if he grapples successfully, he can get a decision here. So yeah. Izzy by KO in the third round. So that's it. Now, let's move on. I have a little question segment here, because I know a lot of people on Verdict. If you're not on it, go on it. I don't know who would be listening who's not on Verdict, but please go on it. Follow Jace2006 or just about anyone else on Verdict. Please. It's a great app. So, I got a lot of questions in the discussion thread. Thank you, Alexei and 3-Piece in a Soda, for leaving your questions below. They were honestly great questions. I'm going to try and answer most of them if I haven't already. So, first one, let me pull it up here. Sorry. Let's get. Find it. Damn it. Okay. My bad there, guys. So, first one is, should Sean be the next title challenger, no matter who wins? And my answer is no. I don't think so. I don't think that Sean Strickland should be the one fighting for the belt next. Let's think about it. He's been robbed, okay? He got robbed. That's fair and square. He beat washed Paulo Costa and is now crying for a title shot. Robert Whittaker over here beat Paulo Costa, who is less washed, beat Ikram, who was a really good prospect and still had a full camp. A lot of people think he did, but he did. He was supposed to fight on the Apex a week earlier. And now is begging for Hamzat to fight. Like, I thought Hamzat would have wanted Bobby, but Bobby wanted Hamzat. And I would pick Robert Whittaker in that fight. But I think that if Whittaker beat Hamzat, I think this is also part of 3-Piece's question, that Whittaker 100% deserves a title shot. Hamzat's looking like the new big thing at middleweight. And if Bobby takes him out, that's an instant title shot. No doubt in my mind. He's already done enough that he can earn the title shot. Just the thing is that he's already lost to Izzy and Dricus. The only thing that I could say is that they put a number one contender fight for Sean and Robert Whittaker if they win. Because Whittaker deserves a title shot. If he beats Hamzat, he just deserves it right away. Will they give it to him? Fuck no. They won't give it to him. So put the number one contender fight together. And then, yeah, we'll see who wins that. Other than that, I could see Imavov, Allen, Kyle Barrio. I could see them coming up. But definitely not next in line. We know it's Strickland. I just don't think it should be. Next up. If Tuivasa loses again, it'll be his 5th consecutive loss. We know that some fighters who are not well known and popular, unranked, get kicked after 2 losses. Legend like Tony seem like they can go on for 50. Tai Tuivasa is in between terms of how big impact he left in the UFC. He ain't nobody, but he ain't legend. Should he get fired or no? And my answer is no. I don't think he should be fired. As I said before, I think that he should probably go to either non-ranked or like the number 15 spot. Give him one more chance. One more chance, and then he kick the guy out. I'd say he's got one more chance if he loses here. Next up. If DDP loses by split decision, should he get a rematch? No. No, I don't think so. I think that if Izzy wins, that he should either be fighting Strickland, which is going to happen if he wins, Whitaker, or the winner of Imavov versus Allen. So yeah, that's who I think Izzy should fight after. But I don't think Dricus gets an instant rematch. Dricus could fight any of those guys, and if he wins, gladly give him a title shot. Because that's fighting at the high level and not fighting washed Paulo Costa. But if he fought someone at the top, like the high level, he could 100% earn that title shot back. If Izzy loses, doesn't matter by which method, what is next for him? I think it is the winner of Imavov versus Allen. I genuinely think that's all that's left for him if he doesn't do that. Or, this is the other option, he bumps up to light heavyweight and fights a contender there. The question is, which contender? I would say Alexander Rakic or Nikita Krylov. The thing is I would probably favor Rakic just because they're more striking styles. It would kind of be a bit of a boring fight. Maybe even Yuri, but I've heard Yuri's coming down to light or to middleweight. So put him in that number 5 area, then give him like a Yuri, something like that. Because like we saw what happened with Jan Blachowicz. He lost, like fair and square. He got dominated. So give him someone a little lower, like Rakic. And then we'll put him in with like a Yuri or even an Alex Pereira. If Ursig wins, should he get another crack before anyone else after Pantoja deal with the challenger in the meantime? Well, Pantoja isn't matched up right now. But I'm still going to say no. If Kai Kara France wins, they probably will give it to him. They'll probably give it to him. Sorry, I'm going to take a drink here. They'll probably give it to Kai. But Steve deserves it. They won't give it to him because they did the same thing with Royval. Royval is the number 1 contender right now. He beat Brandon Moreno. They won't give him a title shot. He needs one more fight. So maybe one more fight before he gets a title shot. But I hope Steve does get that title shot. Okay, that's all of Alex A's ones. Now let's see. 3 pieces. Let's see. Since Conor isn't fighting in 2024 now, is Fiziev versus Speedbag Chandler the fight to make? I don't think so. Here's the thing. I have another fight for Chandler that I think would be way more fun. Hear me out. I want Alexander Volkanovski versus Michael Chandler. Oh, don't shoot me. Don't shoot me, please. I'm sorry. Listen, tell me that wouldn't be a fun fight. Tell me that would not be a fun fight. Either Volk gets KO'd and I'm going to cry myself to sleep again that night, or I am, like, so happy that Volk beat Chandler. And, yeah, fuck. Because tell me that wouldn't be fun. They're both fun to watch fight. As much as I don't really like Michael Chandler that much, that is a fun fight. That's the way I think they go with that. I think they do Volkanovski versus Chandler. That can either be a co-main or a main for a pay-per-view. Maybe interim BMF. Let Volk fucking 50-45 max again without getting shinned. Next up. Oh, wait. Never mind. So, that's our question segment. We can do another one next week. I think next week... Oh, fuck. Is next week an Apex event? Oh, yeah, but it's the Cannoneer versus Brio one, I think. Anyways. We can do this again. Just when I post about it on Verdict, just leave your comment down below, comment questions, shit like that. Now to get in my discussion question. I don't have much time left. We're kind of approaching the 35-minute mark here, which is what I usually aim for. But this was my discussion question from last week, is if you could trade a fighter in good faith in each division to another promotion, who would you trade for and where would you send them? So, at flyweight, here's how this works. In good faith, someone who could have a really good run in that promotion, like could become champion in each promotion. So at flyweight, I've got Makayev, who already got kicked out, so I went with another one. I'm trading Amir Albazi to one championship for Mighty Mouse. Now, I know Mighty Mouse is at bantamweight right now, which, honestly, my bantamweight trade could work as well, but I think the bantamweight trade it's pretty good in my opinion as well, so I wanted to make one for flyweight because not a lot of other promotions have a flyweight except for the PFL, but who gives a flying fuck about that? Okay, bantamweight. This is going to be a hot take here. I am trading Dominic Cruz to Bellator for Patchy Mix. I think Patchy Mix could do great in the UFC. I think he'd be really entertaining. I think he'd be fun to watch. And Dominic Cruz hasn't fought in a while. I don't even know if his ass would fight in Bellator. He's been super inactive. He needs to fight again. Or else he's getting traded to Bellator for Patchy Mix. But he could have a good run in Bellator. Featherweight. I am trading Calvin Kattar to Bellator for Patricio Pitbull. I think Calvin Kattar could have a really good run in Bellator. No joke, could become Bellator champion. I shit you not. I think he could do really good. And Pitbull would be okay. Realistically, this is not a trade I would make. Featherweight is a really good division. It needs to have its people. But the next division, I would actually say, even though it's the most stacked division, there's one person I could trade that fucked over a lot of people's parlays on UFC 300. And I personally did not get my parlay fucked over because I'm not an idiot. Jalen Turner is getting traded to Bellator for Usman Nurmagomedov. Tell me having Usman Nurmagomedov would not be awesome. I'm not a Dagestani meat rider, but tell me that wouldn't be sick, okay? He's undefeated, super dominant Bellator champion, but it's time to go Jalen Turner. We need this guy in here. Give him Islam right off the bat. I'm kidding. They probably wouldn't even fight. Wait till Islam retires. Welterweight. I am trading. Now, I have two trades for welterweight because one of them is a free agent. So either I'm going Neil Magny to the PFL for Douglas Lima, or the one that I prefer, Colby Covington for Nate Diaz. Tell me that's not a good trade. Trading a washed Colby Covington that nobody really likes anymore for fucking Nate Diaz. Everyone knows Nate Diaz. He's a way bigger name than Colby Covington. Anyways, middleweight, I am trading Roman Dolidze to Bellator for Johnny Eblen or Fabian Edwards. I would take both of them. It would be cool to have Leon's brother, but the brother curse is real. The only brothers that did well in the UFC were Neil Duplessis and David Adesanya. I'm kidding on that one, by the way. If you know, you know. You know the context behind that one. That's a co-main for an upcoming pay-per-view. But it would be cool to have Fabian in the UFC. Light heavyweight, I am trading. Now, this isn't aged so well because he's not ranked anymore. But I'm trading Alonzo Menafield to the PFL/Bellator. I don't know which one he's in. For Yoel Romero. I'm pretty sure he's in Bellator still, but I think he's in the talks to join another organization. But this guy's he's almost 50, is he not? And he's still fucking going. He just beat Thiago Santos the other day. Now, granted, I think Thiago Santos only has one leg. But he's still fucking going. And last but not least, heavyweight, I am trading Tai Tuivasa or Stipe to the PFL for Francis Ngannou. I think Francis is a big deal. Francis versus John Jones, that would be fucking amazing. Do you know how many pay-per-view buys that would have? That would be put that in MSG and tell me that wouldn't sell pay-per-views or tickets or anything. So those are my trade deals. I'm sorry I kind of rushed through that. That was last week's discussion question, but we have passed the 35-minute mark. So yeah, I will start a discussion thread. Feel free to leave your answers to questions below, or you can, place your comments, questions, recommendations for next week's episode. Leave feedback, shit like that. Anyways, I am dragging on really long. Thanks for watching, and fucking listening, and I will see you guys next week.